Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Leah?
Sex magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the topic that
masturbating and having a vision, it has been like huge for both of us.
I was just telling Juliet about this because I was like, a specific thing happened right after I did that. And I was like, sorry, Juliet, I think about you every time I come.
I said, I'm honored. Thank you.
Because I have a vision of us on this billboard that I like make sure happens every time.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 51.
Woo! I'm Sadie.
I'm Juliet. Obviously.
And we created Goddess Hangs to be your go-to podcast to learn more about witchcraft, spirituality. I said it all different than normal. Magic, manifestation.
Mindset, relatable and fun.
Make it more relatable and fun. We just had a thrilling conversation with our guests this week, and I am just all high as a kite. Can't remember what we normally say.
We had the most fabulous time. LEAH KNAUER and Gigi Sauvage
And you may have heard of this podcast,
Basic Witches.
We have been told by many of you the biggest compliment saying you are so different, but you really remind us of the Basic Witches. And I think it's so cool to finally have like brought the two duos together. And we made a plan to make it like witchy sleepover slumber party vibes. So you can see we are both here in our cute little sweatsuits. And
if you're not looking, I'm wearing my hot pink juicy couture with sequins tracksuit.
And I have my black with pink hearts all over it, velour matching sweatsuit. We look very coordinated and cute, if I do say so ourselves.
And the witches were cuddled up in bed and wearing cute PJs.
Yes, it's a very, very fun episode.
It was such a vibe. We covered everything under the sun in this interview.
It was, I don't think you've heard Juliet and I talk about some of this stuff before.
Absolutely not.
We don't touch these hot topics. We talk about sex magic. We talk a lot about how, pretty simply, magic is freaking everywhere. It's a part of everything. How powerful women are, and how it's okay to be everything, to be every version of you want to be. And that's actually the ultimate power, is to embrace that about yourself. So we learn about Gigi Sauvage's transformation into a new identity. Mm-hmm. We learn some of Leah's biggest manifestation tips. It's such a jam-packed, fun episode. Their chemistry is so similar to ours. Like, we talk about really deep topics, but we're laughing the whole time. And it was just such a fun conversation, and we can't wait for you to listen in.
And if you're a fan of Goddess Hangs, you will absolutely be a fan of Basic Witches.
Yes.
We definitely invite you to give them a follow, give them a listen, subscribe to all of their stuff as well. It's like if we all went to the same witchy school, you know, maybe we're Hufflepuffs, and you know what I mean? Like, we're all students of the same magical world, but we're just in different houses.
And before you get started on this juicy interview, we want to remind you that we have our BFF Goddess Hangs Patreon that is ready and waiting for you to join. We have 3 amazing tiers. If you want to be in a group chat with Juliet, Sadie, and about 50 of your
new best friends,
witchy BFFs, this is for you. It's been so fun, so surreal, so powerful. It's so cool to hear the goddesses start chatting about manifestation wins, mindset shifts that have happened just because of this community. It's amazing. Even if you're not talking and answering in it every day, being in the energy, it's really something else. So we invite you to check that out. The link is in the show notes. We also have our intuitive magic oracle deck. It's no longer a pre-order.
It's just order.
It's just an order. It's ready for order. Again, link in the show notes. It's stunning, gorgeous, also surreal to hold it in our hands. I've got 100 decks in my house right now. It's very exciting.
It's 60 plus cards. It's created for the individual who might be new, who might just be dipping their toes into oracle decks, into spirituality, and wants a deck that is magnetic and magical, but also extremely simple and straightforward. It doesn't have, you don't have to go through a booklet. The description's right on the card. And it's beautiful, and we designed it ourselves.
We created every last bit of this deck. And actually our Patreon group helped us with one aspect, which is the cover of each individual card.
Yes, they chose the little butterfly.
Fun. But we created each individual card with so much love, and it's really meant to help you tap deeper into your own intuition. And we also have our jewelry collab that we made with Out Charmed. You've heard about Samara in past episodes, how we met her. It's been a magical journey. And of course, we had to collab with her beautiful jewelry line. So we have our BFF charm bracelets. I'm wearing my witch necklace today.
I have on the witch and the goddess necklace.
We have a magic charm ring to keep magic at your fingertips.
And I cannot tell you, and I wear a lot of jewelry and I love jewelry, the amount of compliments I get on these pieces. Not only are they showstoppers, but they put me in such a good mood. They're made with stainless steel gold, so they don't tarnish, they don't smell weird. They're like this really, it's like the nicest quality you can get at the most like affordable price point you can get. So we really wanted to be very conscious about something that would last a very long time and something you can treasure and enjoy.
It's so fun because, yes, every time I go to the store or anywhere, someone says something about my jewelry and I go, thanks, I made it. And I explain, you're like, I my podcast collabed with this jewelry line, and I explain the whole thing and make them listen. And I can't wait for you all to be wearing yours and go, thanks, it's me and my best friends, my 50 best friends.
Yes, this is our matching bracelet.
Or hundreds of best friends. You don't have to be a part of the Patreon to be a best friend.
Oh, yes.
But, thanks, it's my BFF bracelet. Thanks, it's my, it's my Coven's necklace. We all wear these. I'm just so excited to see you all in your pieces. And is that everything?
Yes.
Are we ready?
Now, let's.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have a blast listening to this interview. We had so much fun. It's like a sneak peek into what a sleepover with 4 witches would be like. All right, have fun listening. All right, goddesses, we are here. The crossover event we've all been waiting for. So many of you have said, do you guys know Basic Witches? And we said, yes we are working on it, goddesses. We're finally here with Gigi and Leah, and we couldn't be more excited.
Welcome.
Divine timing, right? We knew it would happen when it was supposed to happen.
Oh my gosh. So we're so excited to have you. The two of you have kind of paved the way a little bit for witchiness and a woman duo. And how did your podcast and your friendship and your journey all begin?
First of all, that is so good to hear. Any amount we can move the needle towards women and others and femme feeling like they can go after their desires and use their voices. Mwah. Like, so glad to see you doing what you're doing. So glad to have any part of it. Our journey started with musical improv.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, we met in a musical improv class, and then we just started talking about the patriarchy and how we can burn it down, and like smoking weed, doing yoga,
pulling cards. We both were gifted the goddess deck of oracle cards. Coincidentally, synchronistically, we were both gifted the same deck, and we really just started bonding over like how freakishly real the card pulls were. And that's when we started to realize like, oh my God, we're actually witches. Like, we're actually powerful beings.
Yes. And the more we like stayed in tune with that, the more like our life became more magical. And there's been so many synchronicities during the pod, off air. Like, it's just so cool when you're awakened to how magical life can be.
Oh, yes. And how it all adds up. Like, where we're at now, we have some really big stuff coming that we can't talk about on air yet, but just to look back and see how it all adds up, starting from musical improv, where Leah and I, both artist comedians, like end up in this same class, and then how guided the development of the show has felt, like getting a spot at the Comedy Store because Leah had done so much stand-up there. And oh, you goddesses, we're just so grateful.
Oh, It's so okay. I just have to back up. What is musical improv like? What does that look like? Can you demonstrate musical improv?
We do a lot of random singing on this show, so you could say
we also dabble in musical improv. No, I'm dying to know.
I mean, that's it. Like making up songs. Ready, Rachel? 5, 6, 7,
6, 7, 8.
I don't know. It's crazy. Like if I did improv for I think 7 or 8 years before I took musical improv, and musical improv is to me next level. I think it's so hard. It's like juggling 6 different things at one time. But when it's good, and it's like such a rush. And our team, anddddd, is like all female and just like so powerful. We don't give a fuck when we're together, and that has elevated all of our lives so much. I'm so grateful that we all took that class.
Yeah,
I'm dying that
it's
the team
a
is called
magical thing, musical improv. Like Leah said, even more than regular improv, because you also have a musician improvising, playing piano or guitar for you. So they're making up the music while you're making up the lyrics, and none of it is planned. And it's like literally watching an actual magic trick of creation.
What's so spiritual about it too is like you have to make a choice. You have to keep moving forward. You have to be bold and confident. It's like there's so many
you have to follow your
lessons.
intuition. You have to go with your gut. You have to just make decisions.
Yeah, you're connected like on a spiritual level, all these different people.
Yeah. And it's like, actually saying it out loud, it's like, of course, Leah and I were able to take that magic and turn it into an improvised talk show, like where we, like we're able to bounce because we have practice.
Right.
Does anddddd, which I love that name, have any performances coming up?
Oh, thank you for asking. We do actually at the Clubhouse on December 4th. Yeah, you guys should come.
Oh my gosh, I want to go.
If you're in Los Angeles, yeah.
That's so fun. I love, like, you both do your show together, Basic Witches, but you both have a lot of, I would say, hats. Like, you both have your own businesses and projects that you do, and that's something that I think, like, we do the same, but sometimes when we're trying to find our way, we think, like, our purpose or our path has to look like one particular thing. And what did that look like for you? Have you always been like, I can do everything? Or was that a process of like, oh, like I'm a comedian, but wait, I could also be a famous witch and I could also be an artist. Like, what did that process look like for the both of you?
Such a good point and such a good question. I think my life is a lot about merging all my identities and being inclusive to all the parts of me. So I am absolutely even more than a multi-hyphenate. But when I have to summarize, I'm liking lately saying artist and auteur. An auteur is like a fully authored filmmaker. So directing, writing, acting, set design, like all of it.
I think people are all things. And what I think has really opened that up and allowed people to be different things is the internet. And like, I have ADHD. I'm such an artist. So like, I need to be creating at all times. And for a long time, I was like, oh, am I not, quote, successful because I need to pick one thing? But thankfully, the internet has like allowed me to see that like, there's, quote, creators that like, you're a full hands-on creator and you can produce, write, act, and like make art. No one is one thing. We're all different people with different people and in different settings.
Yes, but capitalism wants you to believe you are just one thing. You fit one role and you better keep doing it your whole life. Like feed the machine. Oh, I'm so against it, actually.
And people get stuck on that because it's like their identity.
Yes.
And they do one thing or one job for a long time. It's like, oh, I'm just a banker. No, you're fucking not. You had things to do, things you loved doing before you were a banker.
And this is where the Madonna whore complex comes from. It's the same notion of thinking that a woman can either be a virgin or a whore. And it's like, no, there's no such even thing as a slut. And I am it also. Like all inclusive.
You're so right. I even remember going through music, like doing music for so many years, and I still do. I would hear a lot like, you just have to pick the one thing and pick your lane, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. And that wasn't very fun. I got bored. I wanted to do all the things.
Right.
And it's very freeing that I love that the four of us are in a place where, you know, oh, today I'm going to act, and today I'm going to make a card deck, and today I'm going to record a podcast. And I also have this idea for a short film or a photo shoot. And there's such magic in empowering yourself. And I didn't even connect the capitalism thing. That's brilliant. That we've sort of been trained like, oh, pick, what do you want to be? You have one word, fill it in.
Well, it's disempowering, and that's what capitalism wants. It does not want you to, also that's what patriarchal religion wants. It does not want you to be empowered. It has the power. A god in the sky, a guy has the power. And Leah helped me early on in our friendship by saying, you can always change your mind. Mm-hmm. I like always quote her on this because it has stuck with me. Mm-hmm. You can always change your mind. Also, like, we are literally never the same people. Entropy, like we are literally dissolving and reforming ourselves all the time. Why is it not okay to change your name, change your identity, like change your hair color? It should be natural to constantly be changing.
And I think sometimes we almost think we're failures if like we want to do something and then we don't want to do it anymore. Like, oh, like don't give up. Like you like you're just not committed. You're wishy-washy. Because like I for so long tried different things and I was excited about all of them, and then I don't know, I guess I learned my lesson there or grew that amount, and then I didn't want to do it anymore. And you know, my friends, my family are like, oh, that's Sadie, you know, she's never going to commit to anything. And it's like, no, I'm just growing and evolving. And now I have found things that I've stuck with for a very long time because I learned all that other shit I needed to learn.
Exactly. And that information, that knowledge that you gained forever, however long you were doing what you were doing, you will always have that. That will always be in your repertoire. So like it will come. It's so funny, like looking at the progression of Basic Witches, there's so many full circle moments of like Rachel and I worked with this person and it was a part of like a different version of ourselves. But then that person or that like circle ends up helping us now. So it's like everything leads to the present moment. So it's all information.
Right.
So on the topic of it is always safe to change your mind and evolve and change, Gigi is a new version, a new entity. Yes, I don't know what word.
I want to hear all about it.
Please tell us all about it.
New being, I guess.
There you go.
New version, updated version of me. So I've already had one name change. So I had a birth name, then I had a chosen adopted name that I legally changed to, which was most of Basic Witches has been done under Rachel LaForest. As you can hear, Leah keeps calling me Rachel because it's a very new change.
I'm sorry.
It's so okay, girl. And what I've finally come to as an artist is life is art, art is life. I approach everything like that. Like Leah mentioned, she does too earlier. And I've had this feeling of the borrowed and the given names. Like I don't own it. They weren't ever mine. And so I kind of needed to create a name from scratch to free myself from feeling like I owed anyone anything because they gave me a name to borrow. And I'm not prescribing this to anyone. This is just personally how I felt. And so Gigi originates from my OnlyFans artist persona, Good Ass Goddess.
Ooh.
So goddess is in the name. And I'm also allowing the double G to just change meaning over time. I'm also like, I don't think this will be my last name change in life. I think I am a creature of transformation. I'm a double Scorpio. I'm death and rebirth. I'm fucking living from my sacral chakra. Like Gigi is probably not the last name. But for now, Gigi Sauvage feels so fucking freeing. And I chose Sauvage because it's French, which is my lineage, But it's the French word for wild, savage, anti-capitalist, creature of the woods. All of that feels so good to me. And also recently I realized Gigi can stand for good girl and sauvage can stand for fucking wild bitch. And like how balanced.
Like,
because inclusive. Yes, like I am all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's so amazing. And I love that. I just love that the reinvention. And as you're telling me this, it's reminding me of when we were children. And it's like, well, today call me this. Today I'm a superhero. Today I'm this.
Games. Yeah.
And
Oh my God, I was obsessed with Lizzie McGuire and my middle name is Elizabeth. So I literally would not come down to dinner unless my mother yelled Lizzie. I wouldn't respond to anything but Lizzie for like a week.
That's my middle name too. And my dad would call me Lizzie when I was little.
Oh my God. Synchronicity.
Yes.
Yeah, my siblings, since the multiple name changes that they've been rolling with, they will always remind me how I made them call me Kimberly, the pink Power Ranger. Like I had to be Kimberly when I was little. But you're so right. It's playful. And it's like, I've had little fears come up. Of course, I'm human. Like fears of, am I losing something by making this change? Or am I like throwing something away that I've built? Or how will people take it? You know, all those normal fears. Will it be hard to go through the legal process of updating all the things? But then I come back to like, it doesn't fucking matter.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Like who cares?
Right.
Who cares? I feel like it.
Yeah. That's what we talk about this all the time. Our purpose in life is to have fun. Like, why else would we be here to have a human experience? To have a hard time? That doesn't make sense. To struggle, to like live, like try, I don't know, I'm just thinking of like some religions where it's like, give all of your things away and don't have anything and just don't have any fun. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Our purpose in life is to have a good time.
Do everything in this life
with love, but
for the next one. Like, no.
How did you two meet? I want to know how Goddess Hangs started.
Yes, we worked at a crystal and fine jewelry shop together. Of course, it was such a portal. So we're surrounded by crystals, and our boss is this, like crystal, hippie woman, and it was a portal to magic. So that's kind of how we got into witchcraft, everything.
But the legend goes, as the legend goes, we were super, super friendly and like really loved each other from a distance. But because Sadie was in a little bit more of like a manager-ish position, you keep a boundary. And then when she said she was moving on from the company, I looked at her and I said, oh, good, we can be real friends now. And then a few months later, she said, we're starting a podcast and it's going to be called Goddess Hangs. And I said, are you sure? She said, yeah.
And she said, okay.
I said, okay, sure. And then it's just been we're coming up on 1 year. Mm-hmm. So it's been the most amazing, fun time.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hell yes. I love that. I think portals are real, dude. Portals have been coming up in the cards and in the like moon for me.
Whoa.
Like apparently this full moon in Taurus that we just had before this recording was a portal. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel it.
Oh, yeah, I feel a shift. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and I even feel jet lag, dude. I'm like,
yes.
That portal, man, knocked me out.
I feel like I've been like waking up puffier lately since that full moon. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like,
oh yeah, all portals used to have alcohol and meals included, but they had to cut back. But seriously, I feel like I just think there's so much we don't know. And it's sounding very possible to me that like multiple layered realities exist on top of each other at once. And so when you have a big shift, you're like literally entering a new reality.
Yes, absolutely. Agree.
I'm glad you guys get it.
We talk about like deja vu all the time because we have a group chat with our Patreon witches, and they're like, what's deja vu? What's deja vu? And it's like, deja vu is you're remembering something that like your higher self because time doesn't exist. And it's just like you're on the right path because you're on the path that's like for your highest good, which is the ultimate goal. And so you're remembering because your higher self is in all, you know, time and space. So hell yeah, we're hopping between dimensions all the time, I think.
Oh, I love it. Juliet, what do you make of time? Like, how do you explain it?
So what I was just going to say, sometimes I get so excited that my questions come out sounding like I'm the hired temp for the day.
One time we were interviewing a witch and she said, "Do you do spells?"
Hey, basic. You can ask us basic questions.
I was just gonna say, like, isn't quantum leaping something else?
Sure is. Next question.
You're right.
Not even a question, just a statement. No, my feeling is that we can manipulate it, because if we couldn't, none of this stuff would work. So I think it's all happening at the same. I think all time is happening.
Talk about that string when you explain quantum leaping. Talk about
all right.
that.
This is my quantum leaping string. Okay, here's where we are. Here's where we want to be. You can wait out the normal amount of time, or you act as if you quantum leap that you're already here, and the string bends, and then you go, and then there you are. Check out the YouTube for that
Cool.
high quality demonstration.
I was recently reading this business magazine, not to brag, but and it was really interesting because they are essentially, maybe they wouldn't use these words, but they are essentially quantum leaping in business. I'll explain. Businesses are always forward thinking. They're always thinking, how can we be the biggest, the next, the like most futuristic thing? And we've seen that in the last, like, honestly, 2 years with Zoom and how digital things have become. Companies are becoming more and more like future thinking. So they are quantum leaping by like thinking forward to the future and then making it happen. The fact that we can hit a button and get food delivered to our door, like, what? Our ancestors are shaking.
Sometimes by a robot now, which scares me. Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And it's so funny because there's so many things in this world that people take as like normal, and I'm like, you guys know that's witchcraft, right? Like, you guys know that's magic, right? Like, forward thinking businesses, so many religions. I grew up Catholic, and I'm like, y'all are so much scarier witchcrafty than I am. Like, you dunk babies in water to like put the Holy Spirit in them, and you eat the body and blood.
You drink blood?
Yeah, I respect where it came from. I'm not hating on you guys, but it's such witchcraft. Are you kidding me?
And even things that are sort of not religious, like when it's on the anniversary of the day you were born, we light a cake on fire. And like, we all stare at you and we sing a song, and then we say, make a wish.
Yeah, a song that like rhymes. Yeah.
We all know this song somehow.
When you lose a tooth, it's like, you're going to put it under your pillow now, and then someone's going to come and give you money. Like, we have these really witchy things that we do.
Halloween, like, Halloween is so normal and cool during October, but if you dress as a witch any other time, they're like, oh, you're crazy. But it's like, you do this.
Yes, dude. Oh my God, totally. And like with the businesses, logos are sigils, like symbology, the exchange of money, also like fucking everything. Okay, well, now I sound like you, Juliet. Everything is magic. Put
it on a shirt.
Yeah. But like every interaction kind of is, because you're exchanging energy. Mm-hmm. Everything is a transaction. And I hate how that word sometimes gets a negative connotation. It's like, no, just make it a fair transaction. It's okay that things are transactional.
Yeah.
When you graduate, you wear that dumb outfit and like do a thing with a hat. Like, there's so many strange rituals. But the second somebody lights a candle and like, you know,
and says like, please, can I have this thing?
People are like, oh, that's like, just insane. That's insane.
And then you get married and throw flowers over your shoulder. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah,
everything.
Everything is witchcraft. Have you noticed? Either I wasn't paying attention or it really is exploding right now. Is witchcraft and spirituality exploding more in the past year or since you started your podcast? Have you noticed that growth?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, like witch talk is on TikTok is like such a huge thing. I think it says a lot. Like we're in the age of Aquarius, we're in the divine feminine. It's not a surprise that like this is becoming more, quote, normal.
I also think because we had all of this time, like at the beginning of the pandemic, where we didn't have anything to do, so people really discovered themselves, which I think was amazing. I'm getting like chills because it's just so exciting that so many, especially women, there's so many women who started businesses in the pandemic. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yes. Or like left toxic relationships,
Yes.
moved to the people are finally realizing like, oh, life is made up. I can do whatever I want. And like, we're all going to die. That's essentially what we all had an existential crisis collectively. And we're like, oh, we're all going to die. So I'm going to fucking do what I want and not do what I think people want me to do anymore.
Yes. And when creatures follow their desires, I just think everything works the fuck out, which is why it's so bad to repress, especially sexuality, especially the voice and sexuality of femmes. Like, and so to get money in the hands of more feminine energy is just, my dream's coming true. Yes. Slowly but surely. I wish it was a little faster, but we're getting there.
We're gonna quantum leap there. Just watch.
Yes.
Truly.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say yes, I felt that way too. I was working at this job that I mostly enjoyed, but it was very exhausting. And when I realized, we could all just die, which we could realize at any point in time, but it was particularly amplified last year. I got the heck out of there. And you put how many hours of hard work into somebody else's business, which is like, I want to have employees that I treat really well someday, but it's just like, if you do that for yourself, like we were talking about this a few weeks ago with someone, it's like, how can you fail if you put that much time and effort? If you put 40 hours a week or more into yourself, you're gonna do amazing things. And you can we both work a lot less than 40 hours a week and we're making more money than before and we're doing a lot better.
To bring it back to business, it's like, what's your ROI? What's your return on investment? What are you investing your energy into? Because goddesses, no, I've invested my time and energy into a lot of like scared men in the past where I didn't get a big return because they were really scared men. So my power wasn't exalted. It was like squandered. Being with strong women like anddddd, including Leah, helped me break out of that to where I now invest my time in myself. And it's like, oh my God, the return is so much higher.
Yes. And then you just become a magnet for energy that matches your own instead of searching out energy that's going to bring you down. It's crazy. Like you're like, that sounds nice. You know, you hear people say it your whole life. Focus on yourself, love yourself, the rest will come. And you're like, that sounds nice, but I'm going to keep putting energy out here. And then you finally do it and you're like, oh shit. It's really that fucking simple.
And back to like Leah's notion about this, the divine feminine awakening that we're in, and like how you guys were saying that witchcraft seems to really be spreading. I think, again, the internet is to thank for that, the power of access to information, because like patriarchal religions spread for so long when people were disinformed or misinformed, and they were able to use fear and disempowerment to gain following. Well, now what's spreading is empowerment and self-help and witchcraft and these more feminine energy ideas, that it's like, it's just so exciting to see. And it makes sense it's spreading because like, if you can get that many people behind a fear-based thing, imagine how many people will get behind self-empowerment once they feel it, just an ounce of it.
It's really interesting too, because the divine feminine, so we're all getting so much more connected to our intuition versus even women being, we were kind of forced to be living more in the masculine energy, disconnected from our intuition. And I think if you're living a logic-based life, you can be convinced of anything. It's intuitive people that go, wait a minute, there's a better way. Wait a minute, that can't be right. Logical people, you can say, well, because this, and this, and our logical brain will think, oh, yep, that makes sense. The intuition goes, no. So it's interesting that now we're in this feminine age. Of course we're waking up. Of course we're figuring our own ways. We can't be controlled.
And companies are adapting the 4-day work week. Like that is becoming more of a thing to implement. Like we're human beings, not human doings. And like we need time for rest, for self-care, for family. And like that is going to spread. More companies are going to do that. And the quality of human life will do better. I like can already see it.
Yes.
I can't believe it was ever not a 4-day work week, and that it continues to not be a 4-day work week most of the time.
Right. Well, there's so many studies that show clear as day that people don't get more work done in a 5-day work week. They're just lollygagging around because they don't have 5 days worth of work to do. Or they'll just get it done more efficiently because they're happier, so they're more energized and they can get more high quality work done.
And happy people just don't kill people.
They just don't.
Yes,
true.
Yes, she's my icon. One of them.
The amount of times a week I quote Elle Woods. Like, crazy, yeah.
I love her.
I know. Our motto is how hard could it be? Very much inspired.
Yeah, what, like it's hard?
Like it's hard?
What, like it's hard?
Like even going back to your name change, Gigi, like what, like it's hard? Like I'll just fill out some forms.
Truly. Oh my God, truly. And this brings up another thing that's been like a constant for me lately of just letting it be easy. Like not choosing struggle, surrendering when I'm in struggle, to even down to like, there was like a frozen meal I couldn't open. And I was like, okay, guess I'm not meant to eat that. Like I couldn't fucking open it. Why don't I just pick something easier? Yeah. And then, magnify that to your life. But like, what? Like it's hard? Like it doesn't have to be hard. I swear.
Have you seen that TikTok or something that's this woman, and she's like, you know what? I'm done arguing with people. 2 + 2 = 5. Sure. Have a nice day. And she just, like obviously, say something and advocate when it's, actually important and the time is right. But, I don't want to struggle anymore either. Like if somebody wants to just come at me or be argumentative or negative, I go, okay, have a nice day.
Yeah.
I love that.
You can't convince people to change your mind if they refuse to change your mind, or if they're not willing to learn or listen. It's like, okay, just keep thinking what you think. I don't need to convince you.
I'm living for saying, I guess I'm just not eating this. That's brilliant.
Too hard. That's fine. But I did see the difference of like, I had those fears come up before filling out the paperwork, because it is a good deal of paperwork to change your name. But I had that same attitude and I went in and then I was like, oh, I'm done. Like I truly did just have to like fill out paperwork. It's funny how things can like, the mind is so powerful, how things can get painted this one way. And I feel like Leah is so good about this, about not getting.
Oh, thanks.
What? You don't think so?
I think I often get like, I don't know, but I'm happy you see me not that way. I feel like I get stuck on things and I'll have to be like, okay, well, like with my taxes, I didn't do my taxes for like 2 years.
Okay, that's true. Maybe you're good at giving it to other people. Like you're good at cutting through. If I express a fear to you, you're good at cutting through and voicing back a very simple, grounded, like, no, you can just change your mind. Or, oh, no one's holding a gun to your head. What do you actually want? I don't know. You're good at grounding my fears. Thanks, dude.
That's good. You're welcome.
My dad, who helps produce our podcast, which is really, it's all in the family. He was such a specific kind of father when I was growing up, and still now, because if I was like, Dad, I hate this job, and I was like 21, he'd be like, well, then leave. He wasn't like, so you gotta stick it out.
My dad was like, there's no quitters in this family. I was like,
my dad's a musician, and he must have done everything from Jack in the Box to shoveling snow and whatever. He's like, then leave. So I appreciate that attitude of, if you're really that miserable, or even if you can do it an easier way, do it a different way.
Yes. Love that. My dad always said Knauers aren't quitters. And then when I was 19, put me in rehab. He's like, I thought we weren't quitters. And now you want me to quit drinking?
That I thought.
Well, the Pipers
Quitting is
quit.
good.
My dark, funny Gemini.
Yeah.
The Pipers are thrilled to quit when we're done with something. That needs to be our new family slogan.
Thrilled to quit.
Pipers
Thrilled
give
to
up when they're
quit.
done.
License plate.
Thrilled to quit. Oh my gosh. Or like we should have t-shirts that say like leave your day job. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
how you
quit
guys
it.
met is because
Back and say,
Sadie, you left your job, you quit. And that's how like Goddess Hangs came to be. So that's funny.
Yeah. Because you're saying how I want to hear more about how you balance each other out. Because I know our relationship is it's funny how we came together. I just knew Juliet needed to be my partner because like, I'll be the one where I'm like, oh my God, we booked this huge thing. We need to come up with a contract. I guess I should like ask my lawyer friend or whatever. And she's like, Sadie, I Googled it and I already made it. And she's just done. Like it like that. I feel like we balance each other so much where I'm a worrier. I'll complicate things. And then Juliet's like, it's already done.
It's already
And I'm
done.
curious about like your relationship working together. Like, how do you balance each other? And like I want to hear more about that.
Well, we have so many synchronistic moments where we'll be like thinking about the same thing and then text each other. And then Gigi will be like, oh, like I already did that, or I just did that, or like,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a very much a finishing each other's sentences of actions. Like, and we literally show up in the same outfits. Like even today I'm wearing hearts and Leah's shirt has one thing, a heart. Like, how? Down to gingham. Like we have this incredible monumental day where we both walked out for a very big meeting wearing the only piece of gingham we each owned. How? Like,
Well, we look like we're going on a picnic, but let's go kill this meeting.
yeah, of course we didn't change. We never changed. We love it.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think we take turns being the grounded one and the dreamer. We both have both sides. So like sometimes I've brought us down to earth and made us have like business meetings where we were like task oriented, and other times Leah's been the one to be like, wait, let's be realistic and easy. And then we both dream out at the ballpark.
Oh yeah.
Both are like, yeah, let's talk to Britney Spears next. Like,
Yeah, why not?
That's on our list too.
of course you do.
Can I share my love for Britney?
Please.
Yes.
Okay. So I am 30 years old. I have a cardboard cutout of her in the bedroom I share with my partner. She is life size. Last night
She scares me every single time I go over there. I go,
last night I put a Santa hat on her. So now
Your Christmas tree.
now she's ready for the holidays.
And what's your most prized possession you own?
Oh, I have this huge framed, like collectible gold record thing that she like autographed, and Victor, my boyfriend, got it for me for my birthday, and that's also in our bedroom. So he makes jokes like, it's the Britney bedroom. I'm like, you bought me these things. Where do you want me to put them? So I love her so much. I could
I have
actually
to
start
ask,
crying.
do you turn her away when you fuck? Or does
I
she
do not.
watch?
She is always there with a loving smile.
It's like your cuckold.
She is. She's actually down a little bit of a hallway, so.
But Juliet's now like, I'm going to bring her further into the room next time. Like, good idea.
I slowly just bring her into the bed. Victor's like, this has gone too far.
What if she was just like right here?
Oh my God, I love her so much. I could cry.
Thank you. I'm
and
so
she's-
happy for her.
I know. She's free. Thank goodness. The fact that that was in place for 13, 14 years is insanity.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Again, the divine feminine, one example of justice. They're too few and far between, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Britney for me is Lana Del Rey. Of course, another person who changed her name and created an artist persona.
I love her.
But I used to tell lovers that we're actually in a 3-way with Lana because she's just constantly playing in my life.
Oh my gosh. Lana Del Rey is brilliant. Brilliant. And so beautiful. And so good. I know. I love her.
Such a good lyricist.
So we have Lana, Brittany, Elle Woods.
Yes.
Who else do we?
Other icon.
I love Ariana Grande. I actually did tickets to see her. I bought $400 tickets on Craigslist. Do not recommend because they were fake. And I knew that they were fake. I knew they were fake. Literally one time, Gigi and I were driving to the Comedy Store and we saw a police officer and I asked Gigi to pull over so I could ask the police officer for advice.
And he gave it.
Yeah, he gave it. So ultimately what I did, I knew they were fake, went to the concert dressed to the nines with my friend Tessa. And I was like, look, we don't have tickets technically, but we're going to get our way in. And then turned out there was like a radio contest, had a tent, and they were doing a singing contest to sing Ariana Grande. The best person who wins gets floor seats to Ariana Grande. And bitches, I won. And I upset a lot of 14-year-olds.
Oh my God.
And then a few weeks ago, to bring it more full circle, a few weeks ago, I was literally her stand-in. That was the job that I booked, that I couldn't do this.
Oh my God.
Ariana Grande's stand-in. So I was like, holy shit, I'm so close. And then I went to the taping of the show that I was the stand-in for her for, and I was in the front row. We locked eyes, and I swear, like, she blessed my soul that day.
Oh my gosh. So you could say that you kind of are Ariana Grande.
I am Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I love that.
You kind of are. And Juliet, you're Brittany, and I'm Lana. Sadie, who are you?
I was trying to think about that. I don't know.
A spooky ghost. She just likes spooky things.
I'm like, I'm a black cat, so I can hang out with my boo.
Oh,
Love
I
that.
have a black cat named Boo. I'm like, I don't identify with human alive women as much as I do spirits and ghosts and cats.
you like Lilith. You like goddesses.
Lilith. Yeah.
Yes.
Work with her a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like after we're done, I'm going to go, oh, this person.
Yeah, it's not coming to
What
me.
have you done
Put it in
with
the intro.
Lilith? When you say you've worked with Lilith, what did you do?
I meditate often, and I've actually don't think I shared this because when it was first happening, I just wanted it to be to myself. Ooh. But I was receiving a lot of imagery and symbolism in my meditation, and I would take notes about it, and I was kind of just trying to feel into it myself. And I had an inkling. I hadn't learned a lot about the goddess Lilith. So then I decided to go to good old Google and say, what are these things? Like, what do these things all mean? And it all pointed to Lilith. And it was really interesting because before I had kind of Google searched, I had this message like, please create an altar with these things on it, chocolate and roses and certain crystals. And so I did all of that, and it was like a few weeks, and then I started researching. I was like, who is this? Even though I kind of had an inkling. And at that time, I had really huge breakthroughs in my relationship, started making more money because of that. It was just interesting because she kind of made the connection between like our sexual selves are very connected to money specifically and abundance. And when you're closed off in one way, it can close you off in another way. And when she helped me open that up, everything else we started attracting really crazy opportunities and money and all this stuff. So shout out Lilith.
Yes. Gorgeous.
I cannot yes enough. I'm like shaking my titties because it makes me so excited. Because everything
Lilith
you're saying
loves to
is
see that.
I know it's true. I know it. And that goes back to the sacral chakra, the sex, creation, power, money, death, and rebirth. So yes, sex and money are often related.
Yeah.
There is a connection. They're in the same chakra.
Yes. It was pretty insane. I was like, there's no way this is not connected. Like it was bananas. Like to the T, the time, like the happening. It was crazy.
Love it.
I mean, I actually just got back on OnlyFans. I reawakened the sleeping good ass goddess, and I reawakened her. She's back. And man, I'm finding that for me, a lot of times the link is sex and money. Like making erotic art for me also untaps not only money, but the creative wellspring of like, oh my God, now there's so many ideas flowing in.
Yes.
Because I'm like releasing the sexual energy. So it's,
Yes.
even if you're not doing sexy things as a career, just like buying yourself lingerie, spending money on sexiness, like I swear to goddess, these things will change your life.
Yes.
I was going to come back around and ask if there has been anything that has sort of amplified your manifestation process and getting things, to go from idea to reality quickly. And is this one of the big ones?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Leah?
Sex magic.
Yeah.
Is this the topic that
masturbating and having a vision, it has been like huge for both of us.
I was just telling Juliet about this because I was like, a specific thing happened right after I did that. And I was like, sorry, Juliet, I think about you every time I come.
I said, I'm honored. Thank you.
That's
love.
of us on this billboard that I like make sure happens every time.
Yes. I mean, Leah and I have done sex magic on shared goals before, for sure.
Yes.
It's just part of the business plan.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
this is
right.
business stuff.
Well, we did it to get into Cosmo, and we got to write an article in Cosmo about sex magic.
Oh my God,
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you picture the cover of the what do you picture? Do you picture a
Tell
feeling?
us the process. Be specific.
Do you picture a feeling? Do you feel the feeling? Do you see visually what it would look like?
Yes. Okay. Literally, like everything you're saying, whatever comes up, all the feelings, sensations, sounds, smells, all of it, like encompassing it. And then when you're coming, you naturally will think of it because you know that when you come, you want to think of the image, and then you just like feel it, and it feels as if it's real. And then after you orgasm, it's kind of, you just move through life knowing that has already happened. It's just happened in the future, and you're just like quantum leaping, catching up to it. Like it's got, for sure it will be.
Because time isn't real.
Like quantum leaping with my clit, like that just came to mind. Like, yes, like maybe that's the switch, maybe that's the controller of like time zone. What time zone am I in? But also saying out loud. For me, I'm single AF, so I've had a lot of solo sex time, and so I'm like free as a bird to say whatever I want when I come. I've been just saying it out so specifically, like what I'm open to receiving, what I'm calling in. The example I talk about in the Cosmo article is these Arcade Fire tickets that I wanted to manifest. And I would say out loud, like, I go to the Arcade Fire concert, and it's so sick. Like, I'm serious. It works.
Yeah.
I manifested two of the same thing this year. This Susan Alexandra bag that I've reached. Or Gigi, you don't even know this like update yet because this happened this week. So I always wanted a Susan Alexandra bag. If you don't know that brand, it's like the cutest ever. I work for Clever Style, and we were doing this video where we would buy whatever came up on our IG stories, like ads. One of them came up. So I ended up getting that bag. And that was one of my goals this year, was like, I want a Susan Alexandra bag. And then this past week, I won her giveaway. Wait, I manifested 2 Susan Alexandra bags in 1 year. I'm so fucking powerful.
Oh my God.
Yes, you are. I was thinking before that assignment, you know how when you say things, the phone brings up the ads? So you're just walking around, aren't Range Rovers amazing?
No way.
Like a house? Like, oh, clever. I guess I have to get this.
I guess so.
I love that, though. I love that for you. And that was part of your sex magic, was this bag?
I know it sounds trivial, but yes.
No, but it's if you can manifest that in that way, there's like, you know,
Exactly.
It's like sometimes you want to start with something smaller that you can get your energy behind that doesn't seem quote unquote impossible to you, and then you sort of take bigger steps incrementally.
Yes. And now every time I use the bag, it's a reminder of how powerful I am and how beautiful life is.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to share another one of mine because I'm feeling called to share it. Maybe somebody needs to hear this, but one of my favorite solo sex magics that I've been doing recently is I'm not going to say exactly who I imagine is on the other end, but there is a masculine energy with a cock that I imagine coming in me and fertilizing my ideas that I'm trying to bring into the physical realm, into this world. So like my big projects or my big creative notions, I do sex magic. We'll just call him a mystical being with this mystical being of mine. And I have that masculine energy fertilize my ideas into fruition.
Hot.
It's really hot.
Very similar, actually. It's like pretty much the same exact thing.
It's the same masculine being.
And I'm like, it's this like glowing light, like filling me with light. And I'm like, fuck yeah, now I'm powerful now.
It could be because I have this sense of like sacredness around it. So I won't say his name to anyone of like what I think his name is, but it so could be, dude. That'd be so cool.
Eskimo sister.
In another realm.
Divine.
I love it, Sadie.
Awesome. What are your signs? I'm curious.
I'm a Virgo sun, Aries moon, Sagittarius rising, and I have a Leo stellium. So a lot of Leo in my chart too.
A lot of fire.
And who's meowing?
One of my cats. I'll open the door for him. What's your sign?
I'm Cancer sun, Scorpio moon, Aries rising.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I have an Aries moon and I'm a double Scorp. So I have connection to both of you on that. Yeah.
I love that. Sorry, there's a little kitty in here now. Come on up.
Now I understand, Sadie, when you said the warrior energy. Yeah. I share that with the Aries moon.
Hi, mister.
And sorry,
We're
I don't know
intense.
if I missed it. Did Leah say hers?
Oh, I'm a Gemini sun, Pisces moon, Capricorn rising.
Hi, kitty.
This is Mr. Cat. Hi, baby. You're usually not so cuddly. Hello. Oh.
He heard about this mystical being that was traveling from witch to witch, goddess to goddess, and was like, let me get in here and make sure everything's okay. I love that. What did you say? The quantum leaping with your clit? I think that could be a master class you could teach. I think people would join.
I would join.
One day. Well, I do plan on creating TED XXX talks one day. And I also want to be the first naked TED speaker. I have a whole plan. It's very important to talk about the body. And I plan on being the first naked TED speaker. We'll see.
Okay, so I've been enjoying your Instagram and all of your trademarked quotes. You must trademark TED XXX.
Yes. I need to throw that up on the site. Yeah.
But Gigi and Leah have come up with some of the best trademark slogans in the witchy world that I've ever heard. One of them is follow your intuition.
Yes.
I love that. Another one is Hexo. Love that. There was another one recently. Oh, putting the omen in woman. I liked that one a lot.
Yes. That came to me in a fucking dream, goddesses.
Wow.
A dream. I was like,
good.
oh my God, the word omen is in the word women. That's
awesome.
us.
I love
What
that.
are some of the like, I don't mean spookies and scary, but like spookiest things that maybe have come to you in a dream or a meditation, or like it's so bizarre and unexplainable, like this spell and then this happened. Like what are some of the kind of like craziest spooky spiritual witchy things that like you have happened to you both?
Whoa. Well, one that first came into my mind was I would sometimes do stand-up in my dreams and improv, but stand-up specifically, one time I like dreamt of a bit and then I did that bit on stage and it killed. And it was just so surreal because it was like, I know I wrote that, but I feel like I didn't write that because my subconscious wrote it while I was sleeping.
Wow.
So that was cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of intense nightmares, to take it to the Scorpio end of the spectrum. I've had a lot of intense nightmares because I suffered from PTSD for a long time from a sexual assault. So those nightmares were unlike anything I've ever, I think only other people who've had PTSD would get that like level, but it feels so real. And then like the emotion would get so high that it would wake me up in real life because it was unsustainable. Like it was so high, sleep was unsustainable. And then on the positive end of it, I had a vision of us talking about this. So it's weird that it came up. But last night I had one of those school dreams where you're like, it was high school and it was like, I have to go to this class I don't want to go to. This sucks. I didn't study. I wasn't there. My attendance is going to be low. And dude, in the dream, I realized I already have a college degree and a high school degree. I don't give a fuck. I'm not coming to school tomorrow. The next day was a Friday. And I was like, I'm not coming in. It felt so good.
I have that dream all the time.
Now the cat wants to leave again. I'll be right back.
But have you been able to like get lucid with it where you realize, no, I don't have to be in this school?
I would say maybe a fifth of the time. The other times it's extremely stressful. It's always that. I graduated, but then I went back to high school in my dream life to try to redo it. But because I haven't been going in years, I'm not going to graduate. Then they erased the first degree, and then the second one I'm not going to get. So I'm not going to have a degree. It's so, but that's because when trauma happened when I was in high school. And so of course I'm dreaming that I didn't do it correctly or didn't do it right. But yeah, it's very nice when I am lucid in it and I think, I can leave.
Yes.
I'm not 14. I can get in my car and go.
I can drive now.
I love a good lucid dream.
Do you think life is a dream, or like waking life is also a dream? Do you ever think that? Is that anyone out there?
Anyone at all?
I had this moment when I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old where I was in bed and it scared me so much that I went to tell my mom and I said, I just was told that I'm 85 years old and I'm looking back at my life and this is all the memory and we're in it. And she's like, go to bed.
Somebody just told me that.
What do you make of that? That's fucking fascinating.
And I never forgot it. And it was like, nope, you're just living out your memories in vivid color. And this is all like, so, I mean, that's a theory.
Wow.
I could get on board with that theory.
I definitely will have like weird moments and they feel like I'm high, but I'm not. And I'll be like brushing my teeth or something, and I'll just be like, I've done this in so many different bodies, and like that's the same exact thing. Well, I'll have like it's like a past life, but like my soul becomes one for a moment or something, and I'm just like, I've done this before, and I'll do it again. And it's like I get like I'm gonna pass out. Like I get so like out there, and then I come back and I'm grounded. I'm like everything's fine. But it's so bizarre because it's I don't know. It's. Is it a dream? Are we like a fucking hologram? I don't know. Life is bizarre.
And has anyone else had a connection with bathrooms feeling like a portal like that? Because I have also had that. Do you think bathrooms in particular?
Wait, explain.
I'm serious. Just like Sadie, I have had, like, Leah and I used to live in an apartment together. And in that bathroom, I would get visions of the next bathroom I was going to live in, which I'm in now. Like, and it would be when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm getting ready for bed.
Maybe all the water, like,
and maybe the routine aspect where you're like not thinking.
Yeah, you go into sort of a hypnotic almost because you're just like, I'm showering, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm washing my face.
This reminds me of another weird childhood thing that I've never thought of in 20 plus years. I used to play this game with my friend, and she had a little sister who was very gullible at the time. She was a child. And we would go into the bathroom, and the bathroom was a portal and we would come out of the bathroom and be different people. We'd be like, no, my name's Sandy. Juliet, we switched. We would play this game, and it was only in this one old bathroom in the house where it was like, oh yeah, no, there's a crack in the wall, and that's where we go through, and then we come, like the things that we come up with as children, like, what?
It made me think of, I watched Willy Wonka last night, and Gene Wilder brings them into the like room with all it, like it's like a whatever, and then they're like, where's the door, and they're like, that's the door we came through, and he opens it and it's something different. That's what that just made me think of. Synchronicity that I just watched that.
I was like, yeah, the bathroom's a portal.
Shit.
One time I did acid and I was in a bathroom and I got stuck in there for like 40 minutes, kind of just looking at the wall. So I guess that kind of felt like a portal, but I was on acid, so.
The whole world's a portal when you're on acid.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It could be any wall.
What was fascinating about it? I've not done that, so I want to know like what that was
I was
like.
in Joshua Tree. I was camping, and there was like kind of just graffiti on the walls. I was looking at my skin and how my skin moved. I was looking in the mirror and seeing like my face contort. I mean, it was a little bit scary, to be honest, but I kept telling myself like, you're just tripping. And yeah, I like had a hard time getting out of there because I was just so entranced by it.
Wait, you guys, it gets fucking further. I watched Vivarium last night.
What's that?
And it's a movie with Jesse Eisenberg, and it's kind of an alternate dimension thing. And there's lots of opening doors and going into a different portal.
Oh my God. We're in a portal right now. Here
I can't stand Jesse Eisenberg.
I know.
I really can't.
Agreed. It was one of those, like, I kind of watched it as a second screen, I'll be honest. Like, I was doing something else too.
Yeah.
I could hate watch it, maybe.
But like, I think like Juliet, I think as a kid, I don't know, you know, kids are really tapped in, I think.
Totally.
So I think your experience with as like the 80-something-year-old self, that is so cool.
Maybe you were remembering your last life or something, like
maybe
being 80 and having the flashback of your previous life, and you were having, I don't know.
Ooh, could we talk about past lives for a moment?
Yeah.
What?
They're magic, right?
Everything is magic.
Everything is magic with basic witches. What do you feel you were? What do you believe or know? What do you know you were before you were who you are now?
Okay, I know that I don't know, but some visuals that I've gotten are a warrior queen who stood in this circle with all like Aztec type warrior men and telepathically signaled to them that it was okay to cry. And then each one of them started crying before battle. That one feels so clear that really happened. And in this lifetime, I've had little examples of it happening where like I've had like lovers who wept after a really good orgasmic release and stuff. And I felt like I gave them permission. Also a courtesan, I think I had one as a witch who was burned. I think I had one where I was a very normal lady, which makes me grimace because I had this one, I think I was like real normal, had a husband, had kids, had grandkids, and like died in my 80s. Yeah. I've had a vision of that one.
Like, not for me.
I think I'm a freshie. I don't really identify personally with past lives. Like I've never felt like I had a past life. I think this might be my first one.
New soul.
Ooh, that's fun. Maybe you were like in other places doing other things before coming to this planet.
Classic Gemini.
Like I was busy out there doing stuff.
I know Sadie has some really beautiful past life.
I know about one, and actually it's interesting because I'm not sure if it's connected to Aztec or Mayan, but I had a regression session with somebody, so I had like a journey there, and which was so cool. And I grew old there. In that life, I lost a lot of loved ones, which I lost my mom in this life. So I think that's why that life was shown to me, to show me like, you've done this before and you became one of the most wise old women in your village, and you're following, this is your path in this life too, is to share your wisdom and become influential. So it was really cool. And it was at a time where I was really struggling with like wanting to do this stuff, but being scared of judgment, imposter syndrome, those things. And it was a very simple life. But I knew that like my nephew in that life, who I raised as my son because his mom died, like that's my brother in this life. And so that was really cool. But yeah, it was kind of a normal life, but I was like kind of like just like a woman in that village that people came to for advice. And then the most interesting part was that I experienced dying. And I was an old woman, and the people in the village were coming to see me, and I was holding on until everyone could come specifically. And then I let go and I like floated up. And when I floated up, all of these orbs of light rushed to me. And it was like my whole soul family, and they were like, we're so excited you're here, we're so excited to see you again. And it was everyone it was people in this life, like it was these orbs were my loved ones now. And it was just the most bizarre, amazing feeling. And I was like, wow, like death is really nice. It's okay. I was like, I'm not like excited to die or anything, but I'm like, that was really nice.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful. And in the regression I went on with Moira Michelle, who I highly recommend, she came on Basic Witches. That's where I saw the life as a witch burned at the stake, which who knows? Again, I know that I don't know, but what I experienced subconsciously, or maybe as a past life, was also experiencing death as comforting. In mine, I got to like go back into that quote memory and yell at all the people who were burning me and like tell them how they were such fucking idiots because I was trying to help them and they're so stupid for killing me, which was really cathartic. But then I got the release of letting go and floating up, and mine felt like a warm darkness. So kind of not orbs for me, but it was like a warm, dark blanket surrounded me. And I just felt such bliss and comfort in death.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I was like, it's pretty nice out there, guys. It's not bad.
I did Sadie and I went to the same past life hypnosis.
She was
woman.
QHHT. We always mess up what it means.
Yes, right.
And Sadie was like, oh, I have to tell you so much. And she had her just amazing story and
Very
being
healing,
a leader in the community and all this. And I was like, yeah, I was a scullery maid. I was holding a bucket and I was cleaning. I was cleaning. I had a husband that was just, like it was not she. And she's like, do you think this is the husband? Do you think this is someone you know in your current life? And I was like, no. It felt kind of like, this was coming up because it was a life in which I sort of did what I was told to do. I did what I had to do. I did all that I knew how to do. My boss in this life was really loving and sweet to me. Like I was really lucky to work for her, but like I was around abundance a lot, but it wasn't mine. And so, I think it makes sense. Even throughout my 20s, I was a nanny for most of it, and being in these just marvelous homes and working for these really abundant people, but it was never really mine. And so this is sort of, I think that life came up to remind me, like, you've done this enough, like it's time to be on the other side of it. But yeah, they said, what's in your hand?
A bucket.
A bucket. It's of dirty water. Yeah. So
well, it's just like, all of our past lives couldn't be fabulous, crazy, like we had most of our lives were normal, quote unquote normal, everyday kind of, and now we're here in this life doing our crazy shit that we want to do. So.
I just love that Gigi was like, oh my God, I was married, I had kids. I lived a long time. Oh my gosh. So we've covered everything under the sun, from sex magic to past lives to female empowerment to reinvention of oneself to all sorts of other things.
To magic is everywhere.
Magic is everything and everywhere. Is there anything coming up? Where can we find you? Is there anything you would like to plug? I'm sure everyone who listens to us probably already knows and loves you, but if there's anybody new, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can follow us at Basic Witches on Instagram. And then there's a link to all of our goodies. We do have a very exciting announcement to come soon, so you're going to want to stay tuned. You can connect with me at LEAH KNAUER and buy my 2 holographic oracle decks. And yeah.
And you can follow me at SAUVAGE, which is really just a place to get to my website, sexandthesynchronicity.com. I have my deck, the sexiest deck alive, sexual empowerment oracle cards for sale there. And you can find me as Good Ass Goddess on OnlyFans.
And I guess I forgot the one question we always ask.
We ask everyone. Well, we ask everyone their spooky story, which we covered a little bit. And what does being a goddess mean to you?
Oh, such a good question.
Being a goddess to me is being awakened, being empowered, spreading love and light, and using your own story to empower others.
And ditto, to me, being a goddess is also knowing you are worthy of all you desire.
Ooh.
Yes. Amen.
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 Hey, women.
Hey, women.
Yes. I love it.
Well, thank you both so much. I'm so glad we finally got to have our slumber party.
Yay!
Slumber
Fucking
party.
divine timing.
And we'll see all of the goddesses next week. Bye.